Recently, former My Dying Bride frontman Aaron Strainthorpe expressed his heartbroken heartbroken feelings over seeing current frontman Miko Tamaki, also known for being the frontman of Swallow the Sun, being in My Dying Bride doing the vocals. It's not easy to move on from something that you've been major part of for 3.5 decades, and then to see someone else in the position you once held. Whenever, whenever My Dying Bride fans or people that aren't the biggest fans of the band think of My Dying Bride, they usually think of Aaron on vocals. So people who've been used to him being at the forefront, this his departure from the band was quite a shock, even to me. But whether My Dying Bride are going to be releasing any new music with Miko is yet to be seen. But now I'm going to switch gears and talk about Aaron's new band, Towards the Sinister. Now, this features his ex My Dying Bride members, Calvin Robertshaw on guitar, Ade Jackson on bass, and Rick Meyer on drums. This will also include second guitarist Chris Revett, keyboardist Mark Deeks, and violinist Emma Allington. All the Eternal faithfully paying homage to Madonna Bride's classic first four studio albums of utterly dark and dreary and miserable doom metal, also known At the Flower Rivers, as the Flower Rivers, To Loose the Swans, The Angel in the Dark River, and Like Gods of the Sun. Now, for me and many others, this is probably the best time of the band. Like breaking it down, as the Flower Rivers is just straight up thrashy. It's probably my Dying Bride's thrashiest album. Don't get me wrong, there's some mellow moments on it, but it's mostly thrashy. And then To Lose the Swans is released, and personally, I believe this is where the band found their level. It's a perfect mix of gothic and doom metal with some death doom thrown in for equal measure. But breaking down the early albums further, I mean, and what and the musical environment that my Dying Bride found themselves in. Early 90s death metal was dominated by themes of gore, violence, and anti-religious shock value. Now, but Dying Bride stood out by introducing a poetic, romantic, and deeply melancholic lyrical style that helped define the death doom genre. The key characteristics of their early lyrics were that they drew heavily from Gothic fiction like Shakespeare and romantic era poetry instead of horror movies. They also focused on personal grief, armor-created love and despair, and crushing loneliness. Instead of standard satanic aggression, they used biblical imagery to explore loss of faith, guilt, and divine abandonment. They utilized far more sophisticated and old-fashioned vocabulary to create an atmospheric, theatrical tone. The songs expressed emotional fragility and sorrow rather than typical death metal aggression and power. I'm going to share two examples of this. One example comes from The Return of the Beautiful, which can be found on Madonna Bride's debut album, and it treats death as a tragic, elegant romance rather than a brutal event. Another example is the song The Crown of Sympathy, which is on the following album, which blends eroticism with religious suffering and mourning. Now, on a somewhat personal note, in light of what's happened, the in regards to where I'm at in life, the true correlation between my life and Aaron starting this new band is rebirth through strict curation. Elaborating further on this, it's a musician who left, or individual who left larger stagnant projects to form a tighter, highly focused unit that did things entirely on their own terms. In large bands and massive friend groups, decisions stall. You must compromise your vision to please the crowd. Both you and the ethos of both myself and the ethos of doom metal reject this, choosing instead to move forward alone rather than wait for consensus. Also, doom metal relies on the creative utility of solitude. By rejecting massive social circles, I treat my life like it's a solo project, and I eliminate the social noise to focus on pure, unfiltered personal output. What I found is that waiting in large groups means operating at the speed of the slowest member. Your philosophy, my philosophy of just myself and my time mirrors the independent artist who releases music on their own schedule, unbothered by all external expectations. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that when being independent, there is no one else to blame for failure, but I also share none of the credit for my success. I become the sole author of my reality. Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay heavy.